Welcome, everybody, to our very first conversation class and guest speaker series for summer 2025. Once again, it's my pleasure to be leading the session as your lead ESL instructor, and I'm also pleased to have Dr. Shanaz, our founder, join us, as well as Miss Irini, our guest speaker that we're gonna listen to today, talking about a really essential and important topic that we've kind of touched on before. So let's get started. Once again, a quick reminder to please include your first and last name. That way we can keep track of your attendance and know who is here. We're so excited to have so many of you join us at Renew in the summer semester of 2025. We want to make sure everybody feels comfortable and supported, be part of a community. You're going to meet so many more students and make friends today. We want you to ask questions if you need to and hopefully help you achieve some of your goals. Now, I know we have some beginners, and I also know some of the words we'll talk about today will be a little difficult. I don't want you to worry too much. Just try to listen. You don't have to speak if you don't want to. You can watch other people speak. You can practice reading. You can answer simple questions when we have our breakout rooms. And just find friends who speak your language who could connect with you later and help you with class. So don't worry if it sounds like it's a lot for you today. I'm going to quickly go over our agenda just so you know what's going to happen. We'll talk about how conversation class every Thursday will be like. We will talk very quickly again about some guidelines and rules. And then start our topic, which is money, or in other words, financial literacy. We'll have our guest speaker, Irini, speak for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then we will practice and have some conversation in breakout rooms. That way, each 5 or 6 or 7 of you will have a chance to talk in a smaller group and take your time. Every time we have class, I have to go over this, especially on Thursday. As you see, our class is going to be pretty big. So we want to make sure we give a chance to everybody to speak. We want to listen. We want to be patient and not judge anyone. Don't worry about making mistakes, pronouncing incorrectly. And if you have very specific questions, we can keep them for later. Okay?
Okay.
Now, we had conversation in the past, and some of you were attending our conversation classes. This time it's going to be a little different because we will have more ladies coming to talk about their life experiences and touch on some really important topics like health, money, finances. We will also ask some of our advanced students from high intermediate and intermediate to do presentations. So if you are interested in doing that, we will talk at some point with you. How is conversation class different from your main class? And how is it going to be different this semester? We will continue to help you learn how to talk about yourself and your background, whether it's who you are, your country, your culture, your education, career, and then also the world around us, our communities. The third point, which is what we're going to focus on this semester, is skills, life skills that will help you live and do well in the US, whether it's money, family life, raising children, continuing your education, and more. In addition, we will continue to learn more about American English in particular, different expressions, vocabulary, idioms, the different ways that people here in the US speak and interact with each other. All right? Now, Our topic today is what? Once again, financial literacy. If anybody's writing down or if you have your notebook, this is a slide you want to write down. April, the month of April, which finished, we're in May, today's May 1st, is Financial Literacy Month in the United States. When we talk about financial literacy, we have some difficult technical definitions, but in simple words, it means finding information and learning how to make money, use your money in a good way, save money, spend it in a good way, and think about what you want to do for yourself and your family with your financial resources. It could be money you get from work, it could be benefits, it could be a business that you have, it could be any resource that you have. I put a few words here that could be useful for us to think about, like mortgage, utilities, groceries, credit, income, budget, expenses, right? So these are just a few examples of words that we might come across living here in the US when we talk about money and finances.
1 second, West 80.
Now, I know it's a lot of information and there's so much that we need to learn,
Oh, I'm here.
but you don't need to learn everything, right? You can start by thinking about your life now and what you need. Do I need to buy a house? Do I need to buy a car? How many children do I have now? Are they going to go to school soon? Are they going to college? Do I need to travel? Do I have any future plans? Right? So the first thing that comes to mind, and one really important financial literacy piece of information, is budget, a budget or budgeting. And I found it in so many different languages. I think I tried to cover the languages that we have. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So we're gonna play a fun game now. I wanna ask people who speak these languages to just read the sentence for us. And since I know a lot of you and I know your languages, I'm just gonna ask you for the sake of time. So let me just get the list. In English, it's a budget for my family. A budget for my family. We're learning the word budget as a noun or to budget as a verb. For Arabic, I want Samia Sunusi to read the sentence in Arabic. What does it say, Samia? Okay, if you're not ready, can I have Manal Aisa? Can you read the Arabic sentence, Manal? Arabic.
وين
ميزانية.
وين ميزانية لأسرتي.
Yes, ميزانية لأسرتي. Okay. Can I have somebody read in Russian for us? Anastasia probably is here. Can you read it for us in Russian?
Yes, I am here. In Russian, this is бюджет моей семьи.
Very good. Can I have somebody in Pashto read for us? I don't know who speaks Pashto and who speaks Dari from our Afghan friends. If you want to do Pashto or Dari, raise your hand.
Me, both of teacher.
Okay, Manija, go ahead.
Okay. بودجه خانواده‌ام ما کرونا بودجه.
And that's what languages?
First Dari and second Pashto.
Very good. Can I have somebody from Pakistan read it in Urdu? Asma Ikram or Homa?
Yes, teacher.
Go ahead.
मेरे खानदान का बजट.
Very good. I don't think we have Maria or Paula today for Spanish, but I believe we have a few Berber Amazigh speakers. Who wants to read the last one?
Yes, I'm here, teacher.
Go ahead, Sonia.
This is Tamazir.
Yes.
تدريم تلتوشيو.
Can you raise your voice, please?
تدريم تلتوشيو. I have too much noise here, Miss
Okay,
Shima.
no problem. So everybody, I think we covered everything besides Spanish. But basically, I put it out there for you because I know you have ideas about it in your own language. Now you know what we're talking about, right? So when I come here, what is a budget? In English, I want to think about a definition. A budget is a planning tool that helps you keep track of how you spend your money. It includes an estimate of your expenses and the way you expect to pay for them. It is based on your income, money coming, and money going on food, utilities, and other things. Okay, so budgeting is one of the most important things that we need to learn when we talk about financial knowledge. Another thing is banking. Banking, things related to banks. Either having accounts, different types of accounts, or the processes that we do when we are at a bank or when we're using payment methods, right? When I pay for things I buy at the supermarket or at the store using cash, debit cards, credit cards, if I put money in the bank, if I take money out of the bank, my balance, if I pay fees, there's a lot of vocabulary we can learn. And I think we covered it in the last semester. That was one video we watched. I'm going to send it one more time in our WhatsApp group so that our new students have a chance to learn some of the banking related vocabulary. All right, everybody. So what we're doing now, we're just doing an introduction. We're not going into detail about things. But I would like for us to start listening more in depth to somebody's story who actually works in the field of commercial business, our guest speaker, and see how she does her job, where did she start, whatever she would like to share with us that could be useful and beneficial for newcomers, for immigrants. So I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Irini Lulu, owner of BHS Residential and Commercial Mortgages. Welcome, Irini.
Hi, guys.
Correct me if I'm not saying your name correctly. We want to make sure everybody says everybody's name in a correct way. So please introduce yourself.
So my name is Irini Lulu. My name is a very special name. It means peace in Greek. So it's a good name to have. So it's like shalom, salam is the same thing. That's the same meaning. So I'm a lucky person. I don't know how peaceful I am, but that's a different story. So first of all, thank you so very, very much for having me. I am very, very proud, even though if I don't know all the women that they are a part of the classes. I am very, very proud of all of you that you are taking the time to challenge yourselves to become better. And we become better by challenging ourselves and breaking the shell, meaning breaking the norm. So congratulations to all of you for taking the time during your days. I'm sure most of you are mothers and wives and friends and sisters. And it's difficult to take time yourself to actually go ahead and better yourself so then you can better than your families, your kids and your husbands and things like that. Or if you're not married, you know, anybody else surrounding you. So I have known Dr. Shanaz for about 6-7 years. And I have been blessed to get advice from her. And so now that she asked me to have a conversation with you, I'll be more than happy to run a little bit of, what, my background is. I moved to the States When I was 18 years old, I went to school to Temple University with an undergraduate in math and chemistry. And at that time, I was working part-time through the banks. And coming from a very kind of traditional family, I did not want to teach. So my mother and my father said to me, if I am actually paying for your school, you better have a way of making money and being successful. So what I did is I took banking seriously because it had to do with numbers and figures and minus and pluses and financial literacy, what Shima was talking about. Okay. So then a young kid, 18 years old, came from Greece and, Albania also. I have I'm a mix a little bit. Then, it was a huge difference, huge, totally huge difference of, where we came from and how banking worked and how working on a daily basis worked. So it was a huge adjustment for me, but I took it seriously. And so through hard work and through challenging ourselves, for the first 4 or 5 years, I managed branches. And what we did on the branches was the following. We opened accounts where people can transact on a daily basis, meaning to buy their groceries, to pay their bills online. But we also did some savings accounts to save money on the side for them. And to open accounts for their kids. But also we did some lending. Lending is an important part to make you grow to the next level. It is okay if you're just starting out, but it's important to save money, to be able to borrow money so then you can buy your first home. And then a couple of years later, your second home. Because I personally believe, and I'm going to get into more details afterwards, once somebody has financial stability, then it also gives a socioeconomical growth to our communities. If we know how to manage money and make money grow, then we can live better, we can have better things, we can build assets. But the most important thing is we can educate better our children. And the children are the most important thing that society has because it's the future. So I don't bore you more with, my ideological things that I have to say. In 2006 or 7, because I was doing well for the banks, they pulled me out of the branches and they put me into a department that is called business development. And what a business development does is helps clients build businesses, build assets, and make them wealthy. Pretty much that's it. In a common sense kind of idea, that's it. We're not doing rocket science. We're just trying to teach people and businesses on how to manage their money, on how to save, where to spend, and where not to spend. So, and I'm going to put it as a side note because I'm trying to tell you a little bit about my story, but I'm also trying to pass some ideal concepts, okay? For whatever money that you are making, your living expenses, mortgage, cars, insurance, food, electricity, water, gas, internet should not be more than 45%, which means that if you are making $100, $45 should only be spent on your day in, day out expenses. The other 55 should be put aside. And don't forget charity. It's important to do charity, to give money to charity. It is statistically, and I'm getting into this when I should not really too much, but religiously, I believe that for every dollar that we give, it comes 10 times. But actually, there are studies made, actual studies made. Forget God, the universe for a second, okay? There's actual studies made that for every dollar that we give in charity, $6 comes back. This is statistically done. So now, let me tell you a little bit how did I get to have my own business. From 2007 to 2014, I was doing business development. And then in 2014, I decided to have more children. I have a total of 5 children. I have 4 boys, 1 girl. Okay, so I know you have children and families. I also have a lot of children and a family. Okay, so it's the empowerment of women. The empowerment of women is very, very important. So then my husband said to me, who is my biggest supporter, he says to me, I know that we're having more children. Maybe it's a good idea that you try to do something on your own, because with having so many children, we need a little bit more flexibility. We need a little bit more of you to be able to, there's days that I could work 10 hours a day, and there is days that I can work, 5 hours a day, depending on the schedule of the children. So in 2014, actually October 18th, 2014, I did open up my business, and it's called BHS Mortgages, Residential and Commercial. Now you're gonna ask me, what is BHS standing for? It's a beautiful meaning, in my opinion, okay? But it means Bezrat Hashem Selah, which means God willing always. You got to put always the Creator ahead of you, and the Creator takes care of it. Promise you, He does. He does. So in 2014, lived in corporate America, and I just had my Sophia, my 3rd child at that time, and I had 2 more after. I decided to open up my business. And what I do is I do truly lending for asset retaining businesses. And what that it means is I help people buy their first home. I help people build their first home. I help people do construction on investment real estate, people that they buy houses to make it as their business. And in the process, I believe that I have done the right thing for them, because as the name of the business is God willing always, I put Him ahead of me, or the Creator. And so I decided that this is my calling in life. Some people are good with other things. I am good with numbers. He blessed me understanding the numbers. So now my children my youngest one is 6 years old. I have a set of twins, 19 years old, that they are pre-med, both of them, which makes me proud, because all my hard work is now paying off on the next generation. So I hope that you all have luck, lots of luck, and you also make the right decisions for your families and for your communities that you are in. And I hope that whoever has any questions or concerns, I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. because opportunities were given to me at some point. So now it's my time to do the same thing. Because at the end of the day, when we all leave this planet Earth that it's called, nobody's going to take anything with them. Is how we treated people, how we made people grow, and how we empowered people around us. So if I don't know how much more time I have, Shima, I have no idea because I'm a
Well,
talker.
you did pretty well, and I really appreciate that you're closing with question and answer because it's gonna open up for a whole lot of questions. But I just want to say thank you so much for a beautiful and inspiring talk and sharing your story, starting and going to where you are right now, and how you embody your belief and faith in what you're doing. I really appreciate that perspective, and I think it resonates with so many of our learners, and myself included. So thank you so much for the beautiful spirit and
Thank you.
coming with that approach, I think, is important. Also, talking about yourself as a woman, as a mother, having children, and how it's actually a question that comes up so much for our community because a lot of us are very family oriented. A lot of our, community members are very involved in their family life. And it's so hard for women to think about what can I do? Can I have a life of myself and be successful? Can I bring that home? Can I bring home to my business, So I really appreciate that you touched it really beautifully on that. And I guess we can open it up to a few questions before we go into breakout rooms. What do you think?
I'm okay with it.
All right, so I'll actually try and think. Maybe we could use the chat. I'm gonna scan and look some of your questions. And if anybody wants to speak or actually ask a question to Irini directly, you could raise your hand, use the hand gesture feature to ask a question. But in the meantime, let's look at the chat. That way we could also have some of the questions for after class. We can send it to you and you can also write a response to it.
Absolutely.
Asma has a beautiful comment for you. You are such a beautiful woman from outside and inside. You are so inspiring person for me and stay blessed always.
Amen. You too. I wish you the same too.
I see Samia has her hand up. So Samia, please go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for this beautiful speech. I have a question about like someone they are saving some money, like around like 200,000. And what's your advice, to buy a house on and rent it or like buy a business? So how's the markets now? So
That's a
what's
great question. That's a great,
Yeah.
great question. I love it. It's a
Thank
great
you.
question.
Thank you.
So I believe that even on your savings, you should split so now we're going to get a little bit more technical. So anything that you have in your savings, you should you remember Shima said budget, the word budget in the beginning. So now this is a very important concept, what I'm about to tell you, okay? Your savings should always be at a minimum of 6 months to 9 months of your living expenses. So if it's costing you, just for argument's sake, I'm going to make the numbers easy, okay? If it's costing you $5,000 a month to live for rent, or I'm making the numbers easy. I'm not going into technical right now. But if let's just make it even easier. If it costing with your living expenses, you should always have in your savings just for any have $6,000 to $9,000 always sitting just in case of an emergency. So now to go back to your original question, if somebody has $200,000 in a savings account, then money, and I'm getting a little bit technical here. I hope I'm not going to scare you with what I'm about to say, okay? but money needs to roll. This is what we call it. Money needs to act, put either in a business or in a real estate, because money sitting into a regular savings account, anything, inflation naturally is eating that money on a monthly basis. So if we have inflation right now at 2.4%, making 3% on your savings accounts, actually you're only making 0.60%. And that's why I know I get a little when it comes to things. So the market is a good market to buy. And again, I'm going to blow your mind in about a second. It's a part of economics terminology, supply and demand. So if we have interest rates going up, it means that the demand is lower. It means that people who have houses that they want to sell, they don't have a lot of buyers that would want to buy their real estate. So your competition is less. So what we do, we buy when interest rates are high, and then we refinance when interest rates are low. Because when interest rates are low, then the prices go up and the value of real estate goes up. I hope I didn't scare you.
I can clarify some of the language if that helps. So with the economy right now, since we're dealing with a lot of ups and downs, and people are being very cautious. So if you want to buy, now is a good time to buy as a buyer, right? Because
Correct.
not so many people want to do that right now.
Correct.
And a second point that I thought was really interesting and important is if I just have money sitting and I'm not doing anything with that money, it's not a good idea. But perhaps I could invest it or have it moving into something, either in a business of some sort or in real estate, for example, right?
Correct. Correct.
So just as an example to capture some of what Irini shared. For the sake of time, let's see, I just want to capture some of our comments before we move on to another question.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Raja is saying, I am happy when I see a beautiful, independent woman who have interest background or an interesting background. I am proud of you and of all of the women and moms.
Amen.
We also have 2 more hands up, and then there is a question in the chat. Can you explain assets? When I say the word asset, what does that mean? Now, before we get into that, and I'll let you answer, Irini, of course, we talked a lot about different things. We use the word money as a simple way to talk about things that I have that hold a value. But we can also say resources, and then we can say assets. So what does assets mean, Irini?
So this is a great word. So let me let's go a little bit in the Asian world, and I'm gonna promise you I'm gonna keep it very, very, very easy. In the ancient world, people used to deal with businesses. Somebody would make potatoes and somebody would make apples, and the guy that made apples would say, I'll give you 5 kilos of apples and you are going to give me 10 kilos of oranges. But because this was not for a long time sustainable, that's how money was invented. Okay, now, if money is not being invested in some kind of an asset, such as I said, apples and oranges, but it could be gold, diamonds, real estate, businesses, then the money does not have a real value because it's not actually being worked on. So an asset is, what is the money buying you? What is it giving you? Something that with time will have value, will appreciate, will will go up in value. So that's what an asset is, that the money that you spend today for $1,000 in 7 years is going to become $2,000 because of the asset appreciating, the thing, the item that you bought.
That's
I don't know if I answered this correctly,
Yeah, Miss Anne, that was your question. Does that answer? Think you're muted. Microphone. Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. That was perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I have a couple questions, so we can take 2 more. I saw both Asma Kirwad and Asma Leilish, you had your hands up. I was hoping that you could write in the chat in the meantime. But Asma Kirwad, please go ahead. We can have about 3 more minutes because we want to get into our breakout rooms, and you're going to have a chance to talk more in a smaller group. So please, Asma Kirwad, go ahead.
Hi, thank you for being with us today, Erini. So I have a question about selling the house. We are planning to put our house on the market. So I am pregnant, and my due date is coming after 2 weeks, and I suggest to postpone to the selling the house in July. So do you think it's a good what's the good timing for us to put it on the market?
Well, first of all, congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
Every baby that comes, they bring their own luck when they come. So remember that every baby that comes, they bring their own luck. Number one. Number two, now you are asking me a question on something that I would like, if I have to professionally answer the question, is right now. But you are just having a baby, and now the emotional side comes in. So let me tell you why it's right now. Because in the months of April, May, and June, especially the people that have children are making decisions where their children are going to go in school in September. But let's look at it backwards. Okay, if they have to be in their house by the middle of August, because they have to have a little bit of time to move in, it means that they have to settle by the middle of August, which means usually a regular sales contract takes 45 to 60 days. So now we are in June 15th. But because from, August 15th, working backwards, we're in June 15th, which means that these people also will need at least a month and a half to look for houses. So now we are at this time that we are right now. But I'm just giving you a professional answer right now, not an emotional.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I really like that you shared that perspective on, if people have children and they're planning on going back to school. I haven't thought about that myself.
It's very important,
right?
In the free market.
Yeah, that's a really good point to know. We can take one more question, everybody, and then we're gonna go into breakout rooms. I really like your questions that you're asking. Thank you so much. It's helping everybody because there could be someone who's thinking about the same thing. So I appreciate everybody sharing, and of course, I appreciate our guest speakers' knowledge and wisdom. One more question, I believe it was Orwa Shaukat. You can go ahead.
Yeah. Hello. I'm very happy to have you in our conversation class today. And my question is, we are buying a new home and we already put an offer and they accepted it. I'm just trying to ask, do you think in the coming days, the interest rate is going down or not? This is a simple question of mine. I just want to ask.
Okay, do you want me to give you a very simple answer or a little bit complicated answer?
You could give the complicated answer as well. Yeah, I really want to know the truth. Yeah.
But, okay, so this is a lesson for everybody. Okay, interest rates on a primary residence, they are influenced by the 10-year treasury bill. Okay, so you can Google it, say, what is today the 10-year treasury bill? Whatever that rate is, which yesterday was at 4.128, you have to add at least 2.5 points to that. What it means is that for somebody that is buying a primary residence, the banks, the investors, the people borrow the money from the 10-year treasury, and then they add 2.5% on top of that to make the margin. That's where they make their money. For the commercial loan rates is the 5-year treasury, and for construction loan rates is actually the prime rate. So now to go and answer your question, for the rates to go up and down by 1/8%, it's normal on a daily basis. But Arwa, if you are looking for interest rates to go down 0.5% or more, that's not going to happen. I can guarantee you that in the next few days. For rates to go 0.5% in a single day, something truly catastrophic has to happen in the market. Truly catastrophic. So I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, everybody, for an incredible, engaging question and answer segment of our class. I'm so happy. I feel like I want to go online and research everything that you're sharing.
Thank you.
I wrote down in the chat some of the points that Irini shared and also a few comments, some of the questions. So please, everybody, at some point, take a look at the chat. We might also share it later in WhatsApp. So we have a WhatsApp group for every single class, and sometimes we continue talking and we share more reflections and more questions. Now, we are coming to our breakout room time. Since we have a lot of people today, and I'm just trying to think. So Dr. Shanaz, you're going to be in a room. Irini, you're welcome also to be in a room as a facilitator, and I will be in one. Everybody else, you're going to be joining one of the breakout rooms. So how are we going to do it today? We will have a simple breakout room where we can talk about something very easy. So our beginner learners can be encouraged to speak. And that's going to be bank accounts. The first thing that I want you to just talk about is, do you have a bank account? Do you have your own bank? What's the name of your bank? How do you use your bank? Very simple and straightforward. So if you want to talk about something simple and easy or listen to others answer it, I'm going to have you in the bank account group. Okay? The second question is about the budget and spending, expenses. What is the biggest monthly expense that you spend money on? And we can go back to Irini's comment on how much money I should spend on my expenses, right? If you remember. So when I say every month, I spend a certain amount of money on rent. I spend a certain amount of money on food or gas or water. What is the biggest thing that you spend money on every month? Okay? Question number 2. Are you paying attention, everybody? You can say yes out loud. Are you
Yes.
paying
Yes.
attention?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
was
Yes.
question number 2. Okay? One room is going to talk about it. Another room, we will talk about how you save money. Okay? We also talked about saving money today, and we heard a lot of good advice. But I want to know, what are you doing right now? Are you just keeping money in a bag in your closet? Do you have a saving account in your bank? Are you whatever? What are you doing right now? We don't want to talk about, okay, I want to do that in the future. I just want to see what are we doing now so we can think about better ways to save money. All right, everybody? So I'm going to create breakout rooms now, and please give me a second to do that because I want to make sure that everybody goes into something that works for them.
Shima, just so you know, I'm the worst person with technology, so you gotta direct me.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you in one of those, and let's see, maybe you can go into the one about monthly spending. What do you think?
Whatever you want, I'm okay with it. It's just
Don't
the
worry. Yeah.
technical.
So basically, now everybody, room number 1 will be bank account. Okay, I'm gonna add some of you like Manel, Nurit, Amina Khan. And once you see it says join room, you have to just click and join. So for banking, let's see. I don't know if we have an iPhone here, and I don't know who you are. iPhone, nothing else. I have iPhone and Graber, and then iPhone, just iPhone. Who are you? iPhone. Please change your name, okay? All right, so in our bank account room number 1, we have 10 people, and Dr. Shnaz, I'm gonna have you there, okay? Dr. Shanaz?
Yes, I'll be there in
Okay.
room 1. Yes.
Yes. And then for room number 2, everybody, room number 2 is gonna be about how much money do you spend and what's your biggest monthly spending? Biggest monthly spending. Is it rent? Is it your car? Is it your house payment for mortgage? Let's see who's gonna go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, it's taking me a minute because I'm actually choosing you. Okay? And we have 40 people today. So Irene, I'm gonna add you there. And all right. And then last room about saving money. Okay? Saving money. How do you save money? Let's see who's gonna come into this room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. iPhone, you still need to tell me who you are.
Yeah, it's usually awful. And why?
Okay. I guess I'll join that room. And then we have a few people. I'm just gonna move you around to different rooms, okay? So we might just add more people here. All right. Aida, Dr. Shanaz, Thoraya, you can go here. Zahra, you can go Room 1. Sandra, also room 1. I don't know whose iPhone, so I'm just... So everybody, if you don't see it, click on the notification red color and click join.